Just do something to tell you who I am, you know?
Today's topic is all about muscle engagement and activation. I've been talking about this in the past. Why? Because it's extremely important. Your success in any form of exercise is only as good as your ability to engage and use certain muscles. And if you're not very good at engaging, like say your deltoids or your chest or whatever like that, there's no trick to like a hand position. I get emails all the time, people say, I can't feel my chest during push-ups, or my glutes aren't firing during squats or whatever like that. What do I do? Well, the thing is, you've got to start from square one as far as this muscle engagement thing. Because if you keep trying to do the same exercises the same way, your brain has built up these patterns, just habits of how it's doing the exercise. So it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, if I make my feet wider or closer together, it's just going to be like, well, you're squatting, you don't need to really use your glutes very much or whatever. So here's my 4-step process on how to kind of make this work for you. Number 1 is an isolated isometric in a strong position. So basically what you're doing is you're trying to flex the hell out of that trouble muscle. So if it's chest or biceps or whatever like that, basically just standing and flex that muscle as hard as you possibly can and relax. Flex as hard as you can, try and keep breathing and relax. And do this habitually every single day for the next couple of weeks. All you're trying to do is remind your brain that, hey, there's a muscle here. You might want to think about turning it on once in a while. And this is how you do it. So you're really strengthening up that mind-muscle connection. Once you can do that and really fire it up pretty well, then what you do is you try and do the isometric isolated flex in a weaker position. So a lot of times what ends up happening is we have a muscle that's turned on, but as soon as we move away from that position, boom, it just kicks off. So this is so that you can learn how to turn it on at different points in your range of motion. So if it's chest, you know, you're here, okay, hand behind the back, chest is stretched, can you flex here as well? And that may be a big jump. It may be too hard, so you kind of go halfway in between and try and flex. And you want to just get to that point where you can kind of tense up that muscle just a bit and practice all day. Practice, 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 repetition, repetition, hundreds of them if you can. And you'll notice very quickly your brain will figure out how to turn that muscle on, and you'll go from saying, well, I can kind of turn it on to, boom, oh, there it is. Yep, it's turned on, and you can kick it on at will. So then once you got that, you're ready for the step 3, which is a focused exercise. Now we're applying resistance to that muscle. And this is a big step because, like I said, the brain likes to do things in habitual ways. So if you're constantly applying resistance to a muscle that doesn't really work very well, other things are going to kick on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an exercise that is fairly focused and isolated movement. This is why a lot of times in therapy, physical therapy, they have isolated exercises to get a muscle back online, so to speak. So if it's chest, some sort of fly motion. You can do it with straps, dumbbells, machine, whatever, doesn't matter. Just something to keep it engaged through the full range of motion, and that's your key. You could be here and be like, I got it, I got it, I got it. No, I don't have it anymore. Can you keep the muscles fully engaged? Same with the biceps, same with the glutes, whatever. You know, an isolated exercise, focus through full range. And once you got that down pretty well, then you move on to the compound movement. So can you keep your chest fully engaged during the dip or the push-up or anything like that? However, if you try and start off here or even here, you may be going about it in a way that just overloads your system. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to get my chest to work harder on push-ups, so I'm trying different hand positions. Chances are your brain's not even close to ready for that. It's kind of like, oh good, you just learned the Chinese alphabet. Here's, you know, the Tao Te Ching, go read this. It's like, no, it's far too advanced. Start here, go to here, here, and here. Before you know it, those muscles will be firing off beautifully in any exercise you have, and it won't be a problem for you anymore. Thoughts down below. Till then, be fit, live free.